Let's move now. The DML has been set up. We can utilize this for other. Okay. So let's create one more. Let's save this. Okay. Let's save this and close this notebooks. Okay. And I'll create one more, which is one dash. So we'll name it as a basic filtering. Okay. There is basic filtering dot ipynb. It's caps lock ipynb. Okay. And we should remove this special character and basic select and filtering. So it is very easy to track and it won't cause any issues. So to avoid any issues, we should not use any special character in the file naming. Okay. So it may cause an issue at the Linux, but sometimes it doesn't cause any issue. And the Windows, it can be utilized. Okay. So let's see like the first question can be, so we can utilize the markdown cell here. Question 1 can be re retrieve all employees. So this is very much simple. The question 1, which is a easy level. So question can be like this only. Write a query to fetch all the columns and rows from the employees table. Okay, this is very much simple question. So as you know, like we have prepared this database, which is a refresh. It doesn't have to have, which is SQL 100. So for this, we can write a query to get all the records from the employee table. Just type select star from employees. Okay. So I think it got disconnected. I have to connect it again. Now it has been connected. So uh, what it is mentioning, like it only invalid object. Try to rerun it again. There might be issue. There might be issue. So let's SQL 100 and try to run this. I think it is not taking the correct database since it's the many more databases. It may try to take query it inside the other databases. That's why this might causing the issues. Try to rerun it. Okay, there you go. So all the records has been fetched. Okay, you can see here in this area. There are 10 records from employee. It has been fetched. But to what would be the explanation? To we added a select star to retrieve every column, and no where clause means all rows are get written. In the production, we should explicitly mention the column name for the clarity and performance. So in the star, if you mention the star, what it does, SQL does is it try to read all the column name and then it add those column instead of a star and then fetch all the columns uh, from this table. So instead of that, what we should do here is, okay, so instead of this, we should mention each and every column name. Okay, here like you should mention employee ID, like by last name, first name. Likewise, you should mention these things. Okay, so now you can get these columns. Okay, so this resolves our first question. Okay, let's move to the next question, which is filter employee salary above 80,000. Okay, so another question which is filter the employees with the salary above 80K. Okay, so let's write the query. Select. So now we know like what is the employee ID and all. So let's figure out what columns we should need, like EMP ID, comma, first name, FIRST name, comma, last name, comma, salary. So this might be enough columns for this. So we'll add the table source location, which is employees. So and we'll add a where condition here. So where condition, it's to filter the salary and add the greater than 80,000. So okay, now 5 rows get updated. So the 5 employees are there whose salary is greater than 80,000. Okay, so if they mention like if employees with a salary above or equal to 80K, then we can mention like greater than or equal to. Okay, and then 80,000 is also get appeared here. Like okay, again there are five. So since there are no 80,000 K employee, then it will just show you the salary which is greater than 80,000. Okay, let's move to the third question, which is sort employees by the hiring date. Sort employees by the hire date. Okay, so I think I should have total X. So okay, sort employees by hire date. Okay, let's take an employees table again. So we are just looking for the easy questions. Okay, so we need to order the by the data by the hire date. So we'll use a selects emp id comma emp or the okay first name comma last name comma hire rate. Okay, from employees employees we can provide this keyword which is order by and provide the column name which is order by date and we need to latest to the old list. Okay, so we have to provide it the descending. It should order it by descending. Let's run this. Let's see how it shows the data. Since server is installed on my machine, so because of some CPU utilization for other processes, this may take times to execute. Okay, now you can see the hire date. Okay, so there are the employees. So in the output, you can see the 23 comes before the 22, 21, and likewise it order based on the dates. Okay, so if you want the oldest to the latest, then we can simply mention ascending here and just run this scale. So now the 23 goes at the last. Okay, since our requirement is different, so we'll use a descending. Okay, let's go to the so in this case interview might ask like what about the nulls in sorting. So nulls appear last in ascending and first in the descending by default. So it is database specific. So we can utilize a null first or null last if needed. Okay, so it is not a big deal, but in make sure that you know like null appears last in ascending, so nulls at the last in the ascending and nulls at the first in the descending order. Okay, so let's move to the list next question, which is fourth questions. Distinct, sorry, distinct job styles. The question would be like list all the list all the unique 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 job titles in the employees table. Okay, and then oh shit, it is running each and everything again. Okay, so it is distinct job titles. Okay, let's write the query here. Select star or distinct job titles from employees order by job titles. Okay, so it shows like order pattern must appear in the select list select distinct. Okay, so there is one more yes has been appended here since that column. Okay, now we have showcased like okay, there are the job titles based on the order by. Okay, so since we do not specify any type of ordering, which is whether it is ascending or descending, by default it takes the ascending order. Okay, yes, see. But it is always preferred to mention the order by type beyond for the readability purposes. Okay, so in this, if you see like we have space by distinct here. So here in here like it eliminates the duplicate value. It works on the combination of all selected columns when multiple columns are listed, and order by improves its readability to read through all the distinct value. So interviewer might have asked or might ask you how is distinct different from the group by. So in this case, group by allows you to aggregate based on the column name, and distinct only deduplicates the values from the columns. Let's move to the next questions, which is use between for the date range. Like find all employees higher between the specific date range. Like let's take an example here. Uh, let's take an example like okay. So and all employees hire between January 1st, 2019 and between the December 31, 2022, which is inclusive. Okay, so please pay attention to this one. So what needs to be considered as inclusive or exclusive. So let's say like the similar like I think we have utilized it before this line. Okay. So instead of writing it again and again, I will select this column employee ID, first name, last name, hire date from the employees. Okay. So here simple thing is like we have to use the where clause here. So in a where clause, we can mention the hire date. So just mention the between keyword here, between, between, and just mention the date in single inverted comma, which is 2019. Like how it's mentioned in the column. So now we know like it is mentioned in the YYYDIMM format. So I can directly mention this and provide the and here. In the and, provide the end date, which is 2020 12 31. So okay, so now we have provided these two dates. Why it is showing red? Have we made any mistakes here? I think not. Just run it. Okay, so four rows are affected, means four records are there whose hire date it's in between the 1st of January 2019 and the 31st of December 2020. Okay, so let's see whether 31st December is inclusive or not. Okay, so in a between clause, this date as well as the end date is both are inclusive in this case when we use SQL. If you do not want the 31st, then we should mention the 30. Okay, but in this where clause, both are the inclusive. That's why if there are the records which comes at the 31st, then this should showcase on the output. Okay, so 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 we can use the equivalent to higher date. Like how can we differentiate? We can provide the alternate approach here. Let's see the approach. Let's take this example. Okay, so instead of between, we can like use like okay, so greater than or equal to, and again provide the higher date as a less than or equal to. Okay, try to run this. Okay, so since in both cases we get the same records, so both are similar. Okay, so always try to use ISO data format, which is YYMMDD, so it is easy to play with these things. Okay, so greater than equal to it takes this data or the greater than this one, and because of and condition, we are getting between this time frame only. Okay, both codes are similar and both works in based manner. Performance is similar in both the cases. Okay, so. In this case, let's say if there are the timestamps include the timing as well, hours, minute, and seconds. In this case, let's say, let me add one text here. Uh, if we use the sorry, if we use the between and between, and condition for the filtering, then if the timestamp is like DDDD, oh sorry, YYYY, mm dash DD, and then hours, minutes, and seconds. Then in this case, the 23 column 59 column 59 is not included is not included for that date. Okay, so this is not inclusive in any of the case. Let's say if there is a date which is 2020 12:31, and then there is a time, this time. Okay, this won't may not get included in the result. Okay, to be safe side, we can use a greater than equal or less than equal to for these things. Okay, so let's move to the next question, which is question number 6. In question number 6, we will see how null handling or null works. So let's find all the employees who do not have a manager ID. Okay, in the simple manager manager ID is null. Okay, so there are the employees who do not have manager, means the manager ID is not mentioned in the table. Okay, let's try to see the table. Let's start from employees. Okay, we will be able to see the tables, and we can visually see whether there is a null. Since the table is very small, we can able to visually see what are the employees whose manager IDs. And you can see Alice, Carol, Ave, Grace, and Hank do not have any manager ID. Okay, so those should get written. There are around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members are there. We should get it in the output. Okay, so let's try to write a query. Select the employee ID, first name, last name, job title, choose from employees. Let's write a simple where condition. Manager ID is null. It is simple, like just try by is null. It validate, like if there is a null value, then it should return. So we have calculated there are the 5 employees. Okay, so why we should use is null instead of equal to or not equal to signs? So since null cannot be compared with equal to or not equal to, that's why we must use is null or is not null. And at always you already like null is not, you cannot compare null equal to null, so that's also not possible, so it cannot be compared. It always evaluate as an unknown and never true, so the rows would be excluded silently in these cases. Okay, let's see what is the output of this. I don't know why it is taking time. Okay, so we have written the query. Select the employee ID, first name, last name, job title, manager ID from the employees where the manager is null. So here you can see the since null is unknown value, so it cannot be compared with some other values. So that's why we have different keyword to deal with the nulls. Is null if it still contains the null value for the specific field, it returns those records. Okay, if it is not, then if you want to find out the employees who has a manager ID, then we can use here is as a not null. So this way you can get the employees where who do have the manager ID. Okay, so let me uh, let me use SQL 100. Okay, it is completed. Now if you want to see, and if you want to see the employee who do have the manager ID, you can get it likewise. Okay, so we'll move to the next question or cell. So we'll find the employees whose last name start with the letter S. So actually this is a pattern matching command we can utilize. So seventh question will be find all the employees whose last name starts with the letter. Yes. Okay. So we have to figure out the employees whose last name start with S. So as we already know, like there are the first name, last name. So we can use the keyword here, which is a like keyword. So let's see how we can utilize. So the since it's a filtration operation, again here we need to use a same query. Okay, we'll utilize same query. Job title and manager ID is not required, and here we have to use this my last name and just provide the like keyword here, like, and then we have to provide the starts with. Then we have to provide a yes, and then after that we should provide the percent. Okay, so if you provide the percent, then it will figure out like at the in place of percent there can be any keywords after the yes. Okay, let's run this. You can get this as a Smith. There is only one person whose name start with yes. If you want to get this Davis, then you can add a D, or you can get this as a Davis. Similarly for other as well. Okay, so if you want to find the name which ends with the yes, then we can write it like this. We will get, yeah, here you go. Jonas and the Davis. These are the two persons whose last name ends with yes. So similarly, we can do it. Okay. So if you add a small letter yes here, then since like is case insensitive, it can able to find whether it is capital or small letter. It doesn't matter if it start with yes. Okay. So let's move to before that. So like support to wild characters. So we have discussed about the percent. Okay, any sequence of a character and underscore exactly one char. So if you want to find out the employees and employee's last name and specific character after that, we can provide the underscore there. Okay, in this case, it will return the Smith again. And if you want only one character after that, it won't return anything. But let's calculate the Smith. One, two, three, four character are there. If we provide the four underscore after the yes, it will provide the this name Smith. So we can count the character using this underscore. Okay, and so this is all about the like, which can figure out the pattern in this. Okay, so let's move to the next question, eighth question. So we'll discuss here in clause for multiple values. So if you want to retrieve, let's say retrieve employees, sorry, work in a department one, two, and three, or four, one, two, one, two, or four. Okay. So now we have to figure out the employees who work in this department. Okay. So let's calculate how we can figure it out. Okay. So let's see our data frame of employees. Star from employees. Okay. So we have to figure out the employees who works in the one, two, and four, not in the three. Okay. So what we can do here is like we'll take the same columns. Okay. Employee name from employees. Okay. Where so let's take a department ID. Department ID. So we use a in operator here. So in operator we have to provide the tuple. So tuple, which is a list of the department one, two, and four. If it falls in this department, then it will return those department value. So should only should get the one, two, and four department ID here. Okay, let's try it out. So here we should call the department ID as well. So we will able to get it. Okay, so here you go. One, two, and four is there only, not a three. If you want a three, then you can able to get the three. Third department, not a four. Okay. So this way we can add it like if you want a single department, that also possible. Let's say I want a data of a single department, which is first department. That can be also possible. Okay. But in that case, we should not use. If you want to filter the data for a single value, then we should use uh, equal to operator, comparison operator instead of in operator. Okay. So Let's move to question number 9. So in question number 9, we'll see the column aliases. Okay, so uh, let's say we have to provide some alias to some column for the derived column. So we have to use alias. So let's say the question is like show employees. So let's say show employees full name as a single column called full name full name and their their yearly salary in the thousands as salary k. Okay, so we have to derive two column which is full name, okay, and their salary in thousands. Okay, so let's say there is 1000. So if salary is like if the name is like first name is Alice and Bob, then full name should be like Alice Smith. Okay, and the salary, let's say the its salary is 1000. Salary is equals to 1000, 1, 2, 3, let's say. Then it should change to salary K, which is 1. Okay, this is how it should behave. So let's do one thing like for this we have to select EMP ID, comma first name, comma last name, comma. So now we have taken the 3. Let's create the full name. Let's create the full name. So for this we have to utilize the concat. So in concatenation we should pass the first name, comma last name. So this makes the full name. But to join this we have to provide the empty space between these two names. Okay, and we provide here is as alias. So alias can be defined as and full name as asked in question. And again we'll provide the salary, original salary, and then there is one more salary we have to derive, it is salary k. So what we'll do, we'll use a round keyword here. So round will like salary, so it will be salary, sorry, salary upon 1000. Okay, so and we can use the one here as a salary k from from employees. So here we have created the first one is employee ID, first name, last name. After that, we have created this derived column and this one derived column, which is salary k. Let's try to run this one. So let's see what happened. There is an issue here. Here is a double comma has appeared. So then there is a last name. So here the double underscore has. Okay, so you can see there is first name, last name, and full name is Alice Smith, and separated by these spaces. Okay, and again salary is 95,000. It shows as a 95. Okay, similarly for 75,000 shows as 75 NK. Okay, so it is rounded at the first decimal places. So that's why it is showing like this. Okay, so if you want this column in the integer, so we can convert that as an integer. So we can provide this cast this into the integer. Sorry, integer. We can sorry, we can make it as a sorry. We should mention here as keyword here. So you can see there is only 95 and all these things. So so make sure like this as is for alias of a column, and this as is utilized to cast the a type data type of the cell, okay, or a data type of the column. Okay, so this is how this alias get utilized. So like interview might ask you, can you reference salary key in where clause? So the answer is no, we cannot reference salary key in where clause. We need to use a subquery or a CTE this for this. Okay, so like we cannot use a where clause here directly. We can use a where clause, but where salary k, we cannot use salary k column here because it is not a derived. If you see the like execution order of the of the SQL query is start from this one. Okay, select from employees and then it filter out this condition. If it start here and second execution is here, then SQL won't able to find the salary key. Okay, to get this column or get this derived value here, we have to copy entire thing here. Like you have to add the entire thing here. Then it can able to work here. Okay, but you cannot reference this alias here. Okay, so this is what I want to mention. Okay, let's move to the next question, which is limit number result. So let's say the question is like 10th question. Okay, 10th question. Question is like a retrieve the top three highest paid employees. Okay, retrieve the top three highest paid employees. So in this case, let's say we have to retrieve our highest paid employee. Let's take the highest. Let's try to start descending. So these three employees is highest paid, which is Frank Miller, Carol Davis, Alice Smith. Okay, these three should be written if you want to find this top three. Okay, so what we can do here is like okay, let's select the employee and salary. Oh, sorry, salary from employees. Okay, and we'll do order by salary salary in descending order. So in descending order we have to get the top three. Let's mention the keyword here, which is top three. So what execution will do, like it will select from and then it will select these columns. Okay, and then it order by the descending on the salary column and take the top three. This will execute at the last top three and take the last the top three salaries from it. Okay, so as I have mentioned earlier, like let's go a bit into the same. Frank Miller, Coral Davis, and Alice Smith is the top three highest paid employees. So okay, so we get this Frank Miller, Coral, and Alice Smith, top three highest paid employees. So we are able to get this. If you want to top four, just change the digit here. You'll get the top four. Okay. Okay. So let's move to the next question. But in a limit, like it restrict the so to be define it clearly. Limit restrict the number of rows written, and order by must come first to ensure the meaningful result. Without order by, limit returns arbitrary rows. Arbitrary means any rows that as per the database. Okay. So while since we are using a SQL server, it uses a top. But if you use Oracle MySQL, then we have to use the limit option there instead of a top. Okay, so we should use the limit three or fetch first n rows only if you use Oracle databases. Okay, so let's move to the next question, which can be the concatenation and string operation. So in this case, we have to display each employee's email in the uppercase and extract the domain version of the email. Okay, so if you see select a star from employees, you'll see the email column is there, which is alice.co.com. Bob at the rate.co.com. So what question says like display each employee email in uppercase. So we have to make it uppercase and extract the domain portion of the email. Okay, so we have discussed the two things. Extracting the substring can be possible. So in uppercase, we have to add the uppercase keyword there. So what are the keywords? Let's see those keywords. So we'll select email, then inside the email, we'll select the second column, which is upper. Oh, sorry, upper. So this keyword make the entire column as uppercase. We have to pass the column name here. So we'll use alias it as email upper. Okay. Let's to make a second derived column. So which can be substring. We have to use a substring since we are on to this portion only, the domain portion dot co dot in. So substring. Inside a substring, we should provide email. Sorry, email from position email from position. So provide the position here at the rate from at the rate position. Okay, and in sorry in email. So it's a start after that position. Okay. So now we have created and then make it as domain. Sorry, domain domain from employees law is okay. So there is a syntax here, error here. Let me see what is the problem here. So there is incorrect syntax near email. So sorry, this get utilized in PG SQL or Oracle SQL. Since we are using a SQL server, so this should not be the proper format. So for this, we have to utilize upper email is okay. So there is no issue in this one. But in substring, we should not use email from position. The from position will work only in the uh, OPG SQL or Oracle SQL. So for from at the rate, we have to mention here as a character index. We mention as char index here. So char index, what uh, character we need to find the index from the email, then we'll mention at the rate. So and we'll provide the email here and after that +1. So we have to get it from the next character from that string. So this one return the index number. Let's say let me add one more thing. Let's say select star from employee select star from employees. Okay, let's say the at the rate is for this cell email cell at the rate is at index 1 2 3 4 5 6 index, and then I have added +1 to get the substring from this C, okay, which is 7th index. So that's why I have taken in substring from the email at the from the 7th index. Okay, and after that we'll get the one uh, index here, okay, character index, and then do the comma and up to what we require the uh, up to what length we want that substrings to get it. So we'll use a length keyword. Inside length keyword we'll pass the email again. So entire length of the email can be passed there. So let's try to run whether we get the correct results or not. Okay, there you go. So this email get in uppercase and the domain are is co.com. Okay, for every other email with different lengths, we get the exact domain name. Okay, so similarly, we'll move forward to the next question. So next question can be for the conditional logic, which is case when statement. So let's see what type of question comes for the case when statement. So let's take a question like categorize each employee as a junior if its salary is less than 65,000, comma, mid-level if salary is between 65,000 to 90,000. Okay, and senior sorry senior if salary is greater than 90,000. Okay, so let now how we can do this one. So for this we can utilize the case when statement. In the case when in SQL, it is a conditional expressions. It evaluates the condition in order and return the first true result. It's handle all remaining cases. It can be used in a select, pair, order by, or group by clauses. Okay, let's we'll use here in the select clause. So how we can use it here? Like so we have to categorize the employee based on their salaries. So we'll take the some columns, select the first name and then last name. Okay, and then we'll select the salary. And in the case when we simply define the case and then give, I'm just formatting it in a good manners to understand it clearly. So it's the salary. So here we mention based on the salary we have to add the naming derived column, right? So first one will be the if it is less than 60, then the value should be junior, right? Junior. Okay. Again, give the enter, then case, then salary is less than equal to 90,000, then it should be mid level. Sorry, mid level. And then when salary is greater than 90,000, or we may not need to do it, like other condition can be the senior, but we should handle it like this one. Then I'll tell you senior, senior. Okay. And then we'll provide the one condition which is else condition, where we can mention it as unknown, because if there are the null values, then we should handle it correctly. Okay. And we'll end it as a like so since we have initiated a case statement, we have to end it. So end as, so as is again alias here, and give the name. So we provide that level as a categorizations. Okay. So from employees. Okay, let's try to run it. So now the 10 rows has been affected. Entire rows are 10 only in the original data set. So here you can see, like, let me sort it based on the salary here. So this sorting is provided by the data studio here. It is not directly implemented by the query. Okay. So here we can see the salary which is less than 65,000, which is categorized as junior. So salary which is less than 90,000 and greater than the junior salary, it is considered as mid level, and then after that it's considered as senior. If there are the salaries which is null, then it is represented as unknown. Okay, so this all are the questions, or the basic select and filtering. Okay, so what are we have covered till now? We'll just recap once. So first we discuss about retrieve all employees. Write a query to fetch all the columns and rows from the table. So we have provided a star here, but in production scenario we should mention each and every column if you know aware about it. So okay, so this will improve the query performance. Okay. So secondly, what we have discussed, which is filter employees with a salary of more than the 80,000. So here where clause filter the row using greater than 80,000 is exclusive filter and do not include 80,000 itself. Okay. So and we have added a filter condition in the where clause itself. Okay. So and the next we have like sorted the employee by their hire date. So we just implemented a order by hire date in a descending order. So simply we get the data in that order, descending order. So here we have figured out the distinct job title that get utilized in the employee data frames. Okay. So we have written this, and we again order it by the ascending order for the better readability. Yeah. So fifth question was like find all employees hired between January 1st, 2019 and December 31st, 2020. But the last date should be inclusive. So we have discussed about the between and clause. So in this, both dates, start and end dates are inclusive in nature for this between clause. But if the dates contain the timestamp as well, which is like uh, hours, minutes, and seconds, then in that case, what happen is the date which has a this time, which is exactly 23:59:59, that may not get included. So that may not be inclusive for the end date. So for all these cases, we should use this comparison operator, which is greater than equal to or less than equal to. So this would help in that cases. Okay, so the sixth question was like find all employees who do not have a manager ID. So we have simply added this is null keyword to filter out the records who do not have the manager ID. So simply we can use a is not null to figure out the employees who has a manager ID. So seventh question, which is find all the employees whose last name start with S. We utilize a like keyword, and there are the two while character, which is a percent, and there one more is a underscore. While percent is a is match the pattern after that keyword. If it mentioned before, then it match the prefixes, all the prefixes. If it mentioned after the character, then it match all the suffixes. And if you have added the underscore, then it exactly matches the single character after the specific keywords. Okay, so eighth question is retrieve employees who work in a department 1, 2, and 4. So here we utilize the in clause with the tuple. Inside the tuple, we provided those department ID. So ninth question is to show employee full name as a single column, which column name called full name, and their yearly salary in thousand as a salary key. So here we utilize the concat keyword to concat the first name and last name, and we may alias it as a full name. And we again use the round keyword to convert the salary in a k format, which is thousand format. So we divided it by thousand and take the first round, and we cast it as a integer. So here again we use alias to cast the keyword into the integer, cast that column into the integer data type, and provided alias keyword for their data field. And tenth question, which is the return of the top three highest paid employees, where we utilize it, this top three keyword, it get executed at the last of the query. Okay, and then there is a question called display each employee email in uppercase and extract the domain portion of the email. Here we utilize two keyword, two or three main keywords. First one is upper to and we pass as email here to make all the emails in uppercase, and then we utilize the substring. Substring take the column start index, start index value, and the end index value. So for the start index, we have dynamically calculate the at the rate index value using the char index and provided the column to that char index, and then we added a 1 into that index to calculate the start index for the domain name. So and we provided the length of email as a end index for this uh, substring. Okay, this way we calculated the domain name as well. So the last question, which is categorize each employees as a junior, mid-level, and a senior based on their salary structure. So we utilize here as case when statement. So in case when statement, it we can able to simply implement the if else logic using a case and when. So we can give the case, and then when salary is less than 65,000, then it is categorized as junior. If salary is greater than or equal to 90,000 or less than or equal to 90,000, it should be mid-level, and if salary is greater than 90,000, it should be senior level. If there is nothing or it cannot be calculated based on this comparison operator can be the null values or non values, then this should be written the unknown value in that cases, and we end it as a level. So we have provided a column name as a levels to it. Okay, these all 12 questions comes into the basic select and filtering of the SQL functions. Okay, thank you. Since we have covered the 12 questions here, so we'll move to the next question series, which goes into the aggregations and group by categorization. So we'll see in the next video. Thank you so much.